Introducing Gullfoss version 1.9. This is a free update for existing users, and it's packed with some great new features. The first thing you'll notice when you download and install version 1.9 of Gullfoss is an extra sound theory plugin called Gullfoss Live. Golfos Live is an additional plugin that features low latency operation, perfect for live mixing, broadcast, and tracking. We've also incorporated Sidechain capabilities into both Gullfoss and Gullfoss Live. This new feature enables users to export stems during their mixdown, in addition to other creative sidechain techniques. Finally, the last new feature included in this update is vertical graph scaling. Users can now click and drag the dB axis to change the scaling in order to have a more detailed view of the processing. Let's take a closer look at these new features. First, let's compare the latency between Gullfoss and Gullfoss Live. In Ableton Live, we can see that Gullfoss Live is about 10 times lower latency than Gullfoss. In order to achieve this lower latency, Gullfoss Live does not fully process the transients and quick signal changes. This is the main difference between Gullfoss Live and Gullfoss. This reduced latency does result in a subtle change to the overall process sound. For this reason, we recommend that you try Gullfoss Live not just for low latency situations like tracking or live audio, but that you also experiment with the different sound character between Gullfoss and Gullfoss Live. Let's check out how to use the sidechain function for exporting stems in Ableton Live. In this example, I want to print a stem of the piano, but I want Gullfoss Live to respond as if it is still receiving the entire mix. So I'll first import the full mix to a new track and rename it as the sidechain key. Next, I'll go to the master bus and select the sidechain key as the sidechain input for Gullfoss Live. When I toggle the sidechain button in Gullfoss Live, we can hear the piano being processed normally and as if the entire mix is still being processed. To print a different stem, simply mute the piano and solo the next stem track. In this case, the drums. We can also use the sidechain for more creative effects. In this example, I want to sidechain the drums to the piano. I'll simply select the drums from the sidechain input and enable the sidechain button in Gullfoss Live. Be sure to experiment with the bias parameter in order to change the threshold of the ducking effect. Let's check out the vertical graph scaling. Many mastering engineers make EQ moves in less than 1 dB increments. To help show what Gullfoss is doing at these smaller decibel scales, you can now zoom in vertically by clicking and dragging, using the mouse wheel, or simply clicking the decibel scale. Now we can see all the processing Gullfoss is doing for smaller values of tame, recover, and so on. The default scale is saved in the preferences. Simply click the Gullfoss logo and select your preferred default scale. The vertical scale is stored during the session. For example, closing and reopening the Gullfoss interface, we can see how the vertical scale remains the same. However, when you close and reopen your session, the vertical scale is replaced by the default scale value. Thanks for watching, and you can check out soundtheory.com for a free 14-day trial of Gullfoss and Golfos Live.